इतिहास का मैं आईना हूं, तहजीब का रंग सुनहरा हूं। गंगा जमुना मेरी आंखें, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा। मैं कल भी था, मैं आज भी हूं, मैं नवयुग का अंदाज भी हूं। सारी दुनिया का घर मुझ में, इस मिट्टी का आदर मुझ में। मैं देशभक्त भी गहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा। मैं बेटी की मुस्कान में हूं, मैं नारी के सम्मान में हूं। मैं बेटी की मुस्कान में हूं, मैं नारी के सम्मान में हूं। विज्ञान में और किसान में हूं, हर वीर में और जवान में हूं। मैं सीमाओं का पहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं। अब चांद पे पांव जमाना है, सूरज से आंख मिलाना है। एक नया सवेरा लाना है, संकल्प नया दोहराना है। न ठहरा था, न ठहरा हूं, न ठहरा था, न ठहरा हूं। मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा हूं, मैं नए भारत का चेहरा।
Well, good afternoon, everyone. I am Meghanjani P. Babil, your host for this event. And it's my absolute pleasure to welcome all of you to today's session of Maestro series, an initiative by EEMA Artist Committee. As an anchor, I've always loved the spotlight, the energy of the crowd, the thrill of a live show, the joy of connecting people. But one thing that wasn't in the script was GST and TDS. I still remember when a client usually asked me, "Can you share your invoice with GST?" I smiled and said, "Of course." Cut to me at home Googling how to generate a GST invoice. Registering for GST felt like preparing for a new show, full of scripts I did not understand, the roles I didn't sign up for. And when I finally figured out, came the next challenge. Clients withholding the GST amounts, stating is their clients and their company policy. Well, there were times I'd wrap up a power pack event just to spend days chasing payments, juggling between accounts, clients, tax portals. Because in our world of events, glamour shines brightest when backed up by good governance. Therefore, we gathered here today for a power packed session that's all about equipping you, our incredible artists, event and talent agencies, with clarity, tools, and confidence. Well, in the today's dynamic business world, understanding GST, goods and services tax, and TDS, tax deducted at source, it's just not important. It's essential. In a landmark initiative to empower artists and professionals from the live events industry, EEMA, through its Artist Committee, has launched the GST and TDS Task Force, a dedicated team committed to addressing and resolving the growing concerns around GST and TDS compliance. As anchors, performers, and event professionals, we often find ourselves lost in the maze of tax regulations, invoice formats, deductions, and delayed payments. With this new task force, EMA is just not acknowledging these challenges, but actively stepping in to guide, support, and simplify the process for every member of our community. Because when the industry stands together, no challenge is too complex. We all should be the brand ambassadors of EMA. Unity makes the community strongest, and where EMA is the pillar and shelter, we all needs are taken care of. First up, we'll be diving into something every artist need to understand. GST and TDS. Get ready to understand harmony, the GST and TDS note, with insights shared by the GST and TDS task force. Whether is the billing, deduction, or compliance, we are going to break it down so it's simple, clear, and relevant to your world. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today I have all the pleasure and the glad in introducing to all of you, not even a speaker, but we are welcoming a trailblazer, a voice of change, a woman who's redefining what it means to be an artist with purpose. Presenting our chair, EEMA Artist Committee. Ladies and gentlemen, can we hear it for Mrs. Gitika Gajudhar? A name that has echoed across the most prestigious stages of India over 25 years, starting from 2002. From a time when anchoring meant paper scripts and no teleprompters to today's digital age of hybrid events and virtual hosting, she has stood tall, adapted, and led with grace. But what makes this moment truly special is that for the very first time, an artist is just not taking the stage. She is leading a cause. With unmatched dedication, she is now steering a mission close to every events professional's heart, simplifying and solving GST and TDS issues through EMA Artist Committee. She is investing 90% of her time into this cause, reaching out, listening, building systems, and standing up for the community that has long navigated a maze of confusion alone. Her journey is not just about performance, it's about purpose. She's here not just to inspire us, but to transform the system from something casual, complex, to something joyful, fair, and artist friendly. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome with all our hearts the unstoppable Chair, EMA Artist Committee, Gitika Ganjudhar. Ma'am, I would
Thank you. Thank you so much. Megha, you were so good, and I'm so glad we have you for this. Thank you so much, full of gratitude that you stepped up for this.
thank you.
Namaste, everybody. Before she took my name and they shifted the grid screen to me, I just told myself, let me just flow with the thoughts that are coming into my mind. Friends, not every generation gets to be in the midst of change that is going to impact the future and make it a better future. Everyone goes to work. For the last almost 3 decades, I've done so, like many of you have. But I just feel that all of us who've been going to work for the last many decades haven't really given importance to joy at work, to the quality of the experience of working, and to the purposeful impact that we ought to make on lives around us through our work. I feel we right now are in the time when all around us, if you see, whether you look at nations, whether you look at communities, whether you look at nature, earth in general, there is a transformation that is underway. This is the time. And that is why I just feel I'm so blessed to be leading this for technical purposes. But what I believe and what I today want to tell everyone who's logged in and who will see this later, whether you're an artist member of EMA, whether you're an event manager, whether you're a talent manager, whether you're not yet a member of EMA, this is the time. This change for the better is one, important, and two, cannot be achieved alone. This can't be done by one chair, one co-chair, 4 committee members, a GST task force. No. For this, each one of you who is a member of EEMA or is a star member of EEMA must set aside time from your calendar every single week and say, I am going to do good and contribute to something that is more important than my own career, than my own life, than only my picture. Because हम सब अगर एक साथ मिलकर, each one of us will not be EEMA brand ambassador. And why am I saying that everyone has to be an EEMA brand ambassador? We have to make sure that as many people from the lakhs and lakhs out there in India who are already a part of the life fraternity come under this umbrella, become a part of the voice, so that our voice with the government, our voice with stakeholders, our voice with partners, our voice with clients, all achieves a higher volume. कहते हैं ना, अगर घर को घरौंदा बनाना है, उस घर में सब जो रहते हैं ना, उन सबको फायदा होने वाला है. So many of you out there, especially among star members, फिर हमें क्या करना है? Why should we contribute 2 hours of our time on Saturday and be a part of a virtual show? हमें क्या फायदा होने वाला है? My friend, when the industry will change, the trickle-down effect to your career, you cannot imagine will be what. So this opening speech of mine really is just telling each one of you out there, just be EEMA brand ambassadors. Understand how important it is right now to contribute to change. And when you contribute to a greater good, the grace that the universe sends your way is unimaginable. We all have to come together. We have to put our agendas aside, our motives aside, our egos aside, take out time from our commercial time and contribute to this larger change that is happening. We are very lucky that we have an NEC that is all hands on the deck. They're working very, very hard. We have certain committees that are working very, very hard. I, of course, urge larger members, but today I'm calling out to all the experienced artist members of our star member category. I know all of you are doing very well, but we need your hands on this deck. We need you to come in and contribute to make things better for new artists, for medium range artists. Let's all come together. Let's do this together. This is my appeal to everybody here today. And before I hand this over to the General Secretary, I must underline here that how he and Raj and Jignesh, and of course, this was taken to Samit and he immediately gave it a go-ahead, have played very pivotal roles in the drafting of this document. It is a very important document that's going to address a pain point that causes a lot of emotional trauma to everybody in the industry, whether event managers, talent managers, clients, artists, everybody. We need to weed this out of our system. हमने तो document बनाया है और बहुत मेहनत करके बनाया है, my friends. I cannot tell you the amount of time we have given to this document because we can't go wrong with this. But बना के कोई फायदा नहीं है. It has to be embraced by the ecosystem to all of you. So I urge event agency heads, management agency heads, artists to all embrace this document, give it a look, give it a read, share it with your teams and make it a part of the live ecosystem, not just within EEMA members, but to everybody out there. I'd now like to share with you a message from the General Secretary, Ankur Kalra, before we then head straight into the GST TDS section, which our able MC will handle for us. But for now, I want you all to hear from the General Secretary, please.
Hi friends, first of all, thank you so much for taking out time on a Saturday and joining us for this really important initiative by the Artist Committee. I would like to start by thanking Geetika, Raj, Dhruv, Dinesh ji and everybody else who's helped us in compiling this really important document called the GST TDS note. As you know, there are various issues that happen between artists, artist managers and event managers relating to GST and TDS. Very often, amounts which are promised later are not given. Very often, amounts which are deducted are not deposited with the government, leading to various issues between these three parties. EEMA has tried to create a concise document which has some standard practices. If those practices are followed, and followed in heart as well as spirit, then these problems of GST and TDS would reduce substantially. In addition to this, EEMA has also constituted an escalation matrix. If there is a problem despite following all these practices, there is an email ID and there is a process given on how to resolve these issues. The intent is to make the entire working of the industry smoother, to reduce friction between artists, artist managers, and event managers, specifically dealing with GST and TDS issues. So I would urge you all to please go to the EEMA website, eemaindia.com, go to the members section, go to the artist committee, and download the GST TDS document. It will be of use to you. It has so many templates and the escalation matrix. We are here to make life smoother for you, and I hope that this initiative goes a long way in reducing friction between artists and event managers. Thank you so much for joining us, and look forward to interacting with all of you in person soon. Thank you.
Thank you, Ankur, for that message. Megha, I'm going to hand this over to you to take the GST TDS section of this particular live event forward, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Well, it's a pleasure to introduce Mr. Raj Bhanushali, a valued member of the EEMA Artist Committee, as an active part of the newly formed GST Task Force and the founder of the Black Hat Talent Solution and Consulting. With his grounded approach and genuine intent to create a level playing field for all stakeholders of the event ecosystem, he is here to represent, resolve, and redefine how we move forward together. Mr. Raj Bhanushali, the entire stage is yours.
Thank you, Megha. So firstly, thank you to everyone for joining in on a Saturday noon. I would like to take you through some basic details on the GST and the TDS initiative. The idea is to make it simple and easy for you to understand. So firstly, like you know, this initiative is called the EEMA GST and the TDS Resolution Task Force between artists and agencies. And it's a joint initiative between EEMA and AMAI, which is Artist Manager Welfare Association of India. So what is the objective? The objective is basically to minimize instances of revenue loss for our members. And how do we intend to help is by intervening and assisting in resolving some of these issues between artists and agencies. Next slide, please. And like many of you already know that the GST and TDS task force comprises of 5 members. You can see them on screen. It includes, someone from the talent industry, which is me. It includes Gitika, as an artist, Ankur as an event manager, as well as a general secretary, as well as Dinesh Kumar, who's our technical expert and who's the founder of Your CFO Business Advisory Services. So I'm going to take you through some classic cases where, this initiative can help you. Use case 1. Now, suppose an event agency pays the artist the full amount, including the GST amount, because the artist is insisting that the full payment be made before the event. Now, at the end of the next month or by the end of the next quarter, depending on when the GST 3B filing due date of the artist is, the agency doesn't see the GST input tax credit from the artist against the GST number on the GST portal. Now, that's a default. So that's use case 1. Another use case can be, say, where the agency has withhold the GST amount of the artist, stating that it's a policy that they pay GST only once they share the screenshot. Now, the artist has deposited the GST, share the screenshot, and in spite of repeated follow-ups, the GST amount doesn't come into the artist. Now, that's again a use case where there is a default and where this initiative can help you. Lastly, the third use case is basically, say, an agency is deducted TDS of the artist, and at the end of the year, or say by the end of the TDS return filing due date, the TDS amount doesn't reflect against the PAN number of the artist. So obviously the artist is losing revenue. And if in spite of repeated follow-ups, if the TDS credit is not given or the amount is not refunded back, that's a default. So these are 3 classic use cases where this initiative is going to directly help you. So what are the prerequisites for us to entertain the complaint? So firstly, the complainant must be a EEMA or a AMAI member. And if the person is not a member, then the person has to first become a member for us to entertain their complaints. Also, before reaching out to us, the person must have at least done 30 days of written correspondence of follow-ups, with the accused defaulter, and only if there is no satisfactory response is when they can approach us. Lastly, you must know that the due date for GST filing it varies from artist to artist and agency to agency. It depends on your slab, slab of turnover. So the due date must be calculated according to the defaulter's due date of filing returns, basically. Next slide, please. Okay, so I mean the first intent should be to avoid such a scenario, and how you can avoid it is by signing a minimum scope of work document or a contract, basically. And like we have advised in the GST and TDS note, that the minimum things that the contract should contain should be what is the mutually agreed scope of work, the timings, the commercials that have been agreed upon, as plus the payment terms. Now, the payment terms should be clearly specifying the deduction of TDS and when the GST amount will be paid, basically. So to make it easier for you guys, what we've done is we have given two sample contracts. One is a very detailed one and the one is a simpler format. These two formats are there on the GST note. So you can look at this format and create your own customized template for such a document, So that's it from me for now. I mean, I would request Megha to introduce Dinesh Kumar, who will take you through the rest of the details. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, sir, for simplifying it so well and explaining it. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Dinesh Kumar, founder and principal advisor of YCBA, your CFO and Business Advisory LLP, a seasoned financial expert. He has been guiding businesses with smart strategies and simplified solution. With his deep knowledge of GST and TDS, he's here to help creatives and professionals navigate with finance with ease and confidence. Well, I would request Mr. Dinesh Kumar to kindly take over.
Thank you, Meghanjani, for the introduction. And thank you, Geetika and Raj, for this big initiative and leading this initiative on behalf of EEMA. Friends, I'll take you through and continue what this task force has done for this ticklish issue of GST and TDS. So I'll continue with this. EEMA recommends each member to follow certain best practices, as Raj mentioned. If you follow these practices of GST and TDS, it will reduce the number of issues later on, and those best practices will give you a kind of feeling where these kind of issues may be resolved. For what best practices need to be followed by the artist agencies, especially the EEMA and EMI member, we have prepared a document and put it on EEMA website. You can refer this Annexure 3 and go through the same. If you have any question related to this, you can reach out to us for that purpose. The task force will take complaints in writing only related to GST and TDS related disputes. Why only related to GST and TDS? Because we are focusing this particular area, and any dispute or any such issues related to GST and TDS, which is pertaining to a period on or after 1st April 2024 onwards, will be entertained by this task force and to listen those matter and help the parties to resolve this matter. The complainants must be the member of EEMA or AMI in order AMI to take part in the dispute resolution process. Next slide, please. Yeah, to bring the seriousness to this dispute resolutions, we have recommended, and EEMA has proposed a very nominal fee for all such matters, where there are 3 slabs. For any dispute where the amount is up to 50,000, the fee for this will be 2,100. If the dispute amount is between 50,000 to 1.5 lakh, the fee is 5,100. And Above 1.5 lakh, the fee will be 11,000. All these fees are payable to EEMA. You can reach out on EEMA website and put there, after completing the process, you can pay off these fees and the task force will take it forward from there. Yeah. What are the prerequisites? What is to be done? A complete details of this is available on EEMA website. You can refer Annexure 4 and these details are there in that. Yeah. Yeah. Next website, please. Yeah. What this GST TDS resolution committee, I would like to take you through the process as well. Once this complaint is being filed with EEMA, the task force will go through the documents submitted by the complainant. And after going through this, if there are any documents missing or any further information is required, we will give that information or communication within 15 days. Okay, what all document is required, and that need to be communicated to the complainant in that. The task force to hear both the sides and conclude within a period of, we have put a period of 3 months. Within this, the resolution to that particular issue or problem or complaint will be concluded. That is the endeavor of the task force. And it will also depend upon the type of complaint, etc. But we have put a time of 3 months to resolve these matters. And once this resolve is being done, and whatever is the conclusion, that will be communicated to both the parties to make the required correction, and a 1 month time will be given for that. If no satisfactory response from the defendant is received within the stipulated time of 1 month, the committee will say pass the order, and that order will be communicated to both the parties. And once again, we will give 1 month time. Okay, whatever is that amount is required to be paid, please pay off this amount. If that amount is not being paid within that period, so the action what EEMA will be taken will be to communicate and publish these defaulters' names on the EEMA website. This is to just to ensure that the people those are dealing with these such people, those are not complying with the provisions of GST and TDS, people should be warned or cautioned while dealing with them. The purpose of this exercise is, again, as I said, to warn the members to be careful while dealing with such people, those are not following the systems. Yes. Next slide, please. Yeah. What is not being, it is very important to note that what is not being within the scope of work of this task force. So some of the complaints could turn out to be disputes where the matter is not related to GST and TDS. But while the task force is reviewing these matters, we find out that these matters are not just related to TDS or GST related matter, but maybe certain other issues also involved, like the scope of work, the delivery, or other thing. In that case, this task force won't be able to help much, but will communicate their decision that it is outside the purview of this task force, and that need to be taken care of by the respective parties outside this task force, and it will not fall within the scope of work of the task force. Next slide, please. Yeah. So this is what EEMA task force has designed for, and then we intend to, I urge to all the members to follow the compliances, GST and TDS compliances, and whatever best practices are being recommended by the EEMA, to follow that and take benefit of this. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir. आई थिंक मेरी तरह काफ़ी बहुत जन यहाँ पे होंगे जिनको जीएसटी और टीडीएस के बारे में बहुत ही कम पता होगा एंड आई एम श्योर दैट दिस विल बी a lot of help for everybody, those who are watching us as well. Well, now I would like to move forward, but before moving forward, everybody, those who are watching us, we are about to move forward to something called a Q&A for all of you regarding the GST and TDS questions. So if you have a gray area in your head that you're not understanding it, please feel free to question us and drop your questions in the chat box. Well, now moving forward, it's our honor to welcome Mr. Jignesh Shah, Chairman of Grievances at AMAI, a seasoned professional and strong advocate for artists. He's being at the forefront of resolving industry challenges with the empathy and clarity. Here today, he represents a voice of firmness and fairness and
Yeah. Hello, everyone. Dinesh sir and Raj has explained it very well, what is to be done, how it is to be done. Now, the main idea, see, all ideas are great until they are executed, and the devil lies in execution. So we have made the template. We request and strongly urge each member, please put it to the use. Please use it. If you face any challenges, you can connect with us. We are here to help you, resolve you, and update. If you find any error, see, we are also human. We have put all our experiences in this. Still, if you find any gray area, any error, we are open for a feedback and upgrade this document. And we want to make it a rock solid one to put it use across the country. So my only appeal to all of you is put into execution, use it. And if there any challenge, any problem, please feel and connect us. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir. And thank you all our panel for simplifying that so well. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to put on the screen the entire GST and TDS task force. Ladies and gentlemen, here we have our chair, EEMA Artist Committee, Mrs. Gitika Ganjudhar. We have member of EEMA Artist Committee, Mr. Raj Bhanushali, Chairman Grievances AMAI, Mr. Jignesh Shah, Founder and Principal Advisor, CFO and Business Advisory, Mr. Dinesh Kumar. Ladies and gentlemen, you are feel free, please, to connect and to drop your questions that you have in your mind regarding the GST and TDS. We are only accepting questions regarding GST and TDS.
Megha, you'll be steering the questions for us. So do you have some questions already that have come into the box?
So I have received a few offline questions from a very senior person from the industry, and I would like to read it to you. So the first question that I had from that person was, since many artists came under the turnover slab, which allows them to file GST returns quarterly, GST input into the agency is delayed by 3 months because of the quarterly filing by the artist. Can the GST input be availed earlier?
Dineshji, would you like to apprise them?
Yeah. In this case, it's a very good question. Whosoever has asked this, there is a provision in GST for the benefit of everyone. I'll mention this, which is called QRMP provision, which says quarterly return and monthly payment. This is the facility being provided by GST, where any person who is having his turnover up to 5 CR, though while he has opted for a quarterly filing of return, he can pay the GST on monthly basis, still file his return on a quarterly basis. So it reduces his compliances with regard to the filing of GST. At the same time, the event agencies are not losing that 3 months time for getting this input credit of this. So this is which I urge most of the people from the artist fraternity. They should use this facility. It will say benefit both sided. On one hand, event agencies are getting the input credit next month itself. At the same time, this payment from the event agency is not delayed for 3 months and getting payment later, they are discharging their liability as and when every month and not waiting for the 3 months.
Thank you so much, sir. Well, we are receiving a lot of questions, and I'm very sure that people have so many confusions regarding GST and TDS in their mind. Well, the next question I got from Anuj Talpare. So he asked, as someone just starting out, what are the pros and cons of voluntarily registering for GST before hitting the 20 lakh threshold?
So Anuj is a recent star member, Dineshji, Raj Jiggy. So Raj, would you want to take this?
No, I think Dinesh would be best if you
Dineshji,
take this.
please. Yes.
Yes. So in this case, you see, voluntary compliance is always welcome. And if you think, okay, we will register ourselves once we cross this threshold of 20 lakhs, is a matter of time. So why to wait to? So it means if we have clarity in our thought, in our business, and confidence on our thoughts, from the day one, we should be compliant, not to wait to cross that threshold. So that this period gives you extra, what you say, the time to understand, and you make you yourself aware, acquaintances with the provisions and everything. So I always recommend, even if a person, when you are starting, you are thinking, okay, you are starting your own profession, immediately join it, because crossing threshold of 20 lakhs is a matter of time. So why to wait?
Thank you so much, sir.
So I would like to add to that, Megha.
Yes.
It's very important for artists to understand that even if they've not crossed the threshold, but if they voluntarily register for GST, it's not going to make a difference in terms of the cost to the event agency, because whether you charge GST or whether you don't, the cost of of your services remains the same to the agency, because the agency is anyways going to charge GST to their clients, and it's an input setup, basically. So it doesn't matter. So don't think that by charging GST you are becoming expensive. No, it doesn't matter at all to the agency.
So just one more thing, just to add, and this will really excite the people. Those are to make them to register under GST. You see, till the time you are not registered, you also might be taking certain services or paying for certain goods or services. So unless until you are registered and charging GST to your clients, you cannot avail the input credit of the services or the payments of goods. Whatever payment you are making towards the GST, you cannot claim the input credit. So in a way, the payment whatever you are making, you only can claim the input credit if you are registered with the GST. So it makes your cost slightly, say, lesser. Your whatever services you are availing, I can give example. You might be thinking as an individual, what services I am taking. You must be paying for your phone bills. You must be paying for your internet. You must be traveling to different places for providing your services. All the input credit what you are paying. Or as an artist, you might be purchasing your dresses, or for female artist, you are paying for your makeups and everything. But all those things you are paying the GST on that as well, and it is part of your business cost. You can avail input credit of that.
Yeah,
in
but
fact,
only if you are registered. Yeah.
In fact, people pay. Sorry, Girika, go on.
No, boliye Raj, boliye.
So, all the EEMA, the artist members who are part of EEMA, they pay a certain fee to EEMA and GST charged on that. So if you're not registered for GST, you cannot get set off of the GST amount that EEMA is charging you. So it's a classic example, basically. So,
so in the question box, Megha, we have something that Arshal, this I'm taking, why I'll tell you. Arshal has suggested, Raj, we should make a note of these 3 suggestions that he's given us. Thanks, Arshal. We should offer a list of legal advisors in case of dispute. I think that's easy for us to do. We can add that to the document in the next few weeks. He also says we should also make everyone understand, how can you file a complaint in the GST department via MSME procedure or GST different format? I think these two things we can add. What do you say,
Yes,
Raj?
yes.
Hai na, Dinesh ji,
Yes, yes.
Jiggy?
Makes sense.
Uh,
Makes sense.
Yeah, we can do that.
Gitika, just to say, the MSME thing is already, they can do that. If a person is aggrieved, they can reach out to MSME. They have a complete set of process to file their complaint and everything. GST, yes, is still, they don't means entertain direct such complaints or redressal, but they can definitely, because you see the today the IT technology is so say like advanced. They are monitoring your credit score kind of thing. They
Yeah.
also know ki if you are timely filing your returns, you are timely discharging your tax liabilities. They are also doing the ratings internally according to how you are, what is your tax behavior and how your compliance behavior is. So that is
Right.
automatically happening, whether you file it or not. It is already happening, and that complaint process is there. But that's a lengthy one. The EEMA, what I still suggest, what EEMA and this platform is offering, it's a not a say it's a their initiative to take say resolve the issues between the members and give a amicable solution which is legally binding or which is legally recommended, and a practical solution for that. And it will be faster and less costlier. The moment you reach out to GST or any other department, these are,
Yeah.
say, it will take time and itna. Yes, you can do
Yeah.
that, but it is a faster process where who will be taking this, say, committing you to resolve such issues within 3 months' time.
Yeah.
But still, this committee, again, EEMA has taken this initiative and doing it. So I again urged members to take benefit of it.
Yeah, well said, Dinesh ji, because 3 months is nothing for a disputes in
Yes.
this zone. I've known cases that have gone on for 2 years and plus. So I think this is what we're offering is quick, a quick solution, and I think it's very implementable because when you're working in the same fraternity, ek aankhon ki sharm bhi hoti hai thodi si. So it is going to. Okay, Megha, we have lots of more
We have
questions.
lots of questions. Yes. So another question from Aditya Malik. He asked, as artists, we are required to travel, shop, and more. As an artist, can we take input on such thing, flight tickets and more? How can we also know a list that artists can claim input on?
It's a sorry, I'm directly taking this question.
Yes,
If any,
Hanji,
it's
please, of
fine.
course.
Okay, so you see, it's a slightly tricky one, but at the same time, you see, as an artist, you are the service provider. So differentiating it, what is not allowed? Any personal expense is not allowed. If any person GST payment on any personal consumption is not allowed.
Okay.
So far as you are able to prove it is for the performance and furtherance of your business, you can claim it.
Okay.
I hope I have answered to the gentleman who asked. So it's a slightly tricky, and it again depends how whosoever is maintaining your books and everything. So they should maintain in such a fashion that you can prove that it is towards furtherance of your business and services.
Thank you
You
so
can
much.
claim
Dinesh ji, year after year, there has to be consistency in those in the pattern of what you're explaining, because
Yes,
any
yes.
inconsistency will mean that you've exposed
Yes, so
yourself if you're doing something wrong. Yeah.
That's why I'm slightly cautious while saying it. It is towards the furtherance of business and doing it. We should just not to take a slight temporary benefit. We should do it. But for artists, again, I am very sure if it is related to your dresses, if it is related to your travel, if it is related to your expenses, those you are doing for furtherance of your business, no. Say, for example, say like suppose you are buying new clothes, shoes, because it is part of your profession or journey. So no one can say, ki, okay, it is not allowed to you. As per me, yes, it is very much allowed.
So another question that we have received is there any way to reduce the TDS liability?
Yes. Okay. From GST shift to TDS. So in this case, there is a. I think this question must be from a event agency, not from
Of course.
artist. So in this, yes, income tax has a provision of lower TDS. If some agencies feel their ultimate tax liability is less than the TDS rate, which is generally, if most of the agencies they deduct 10% because of the professional services. If their ultimate tax liability is less than 10%, so in the beginning of the year, they can reach out to their assessing officer and file a request for lower TDS certificate. They need to provide their data for past years as well as the estimate for current year's revenue, along with the list of clients with whom they are going to do the business, tentative estimated list, along with their PAN number and PAN number. If the assessing officer is satisfied that, okay, your overall income is going to be lesser, they will issue the TDS certificate to you, which you can provide to those respective clients whose list you have given. Here, there is a catch. If you think, okay, I have taken this certificate, then each and everyone will deduct lower TDS. No, only the people whose names are mentioned in that TDS certificate and up to the amount of the turnover which is mentioned over there, they are obligated to charge lower TDS in that case.
Thank you so much, sir. Another question that I got from Anusha Wari. She asked, some are practicing sending pro forma invoice first while taking advance. And then after receiving the full payment, then they are sending the original invoice. Wholesome agencies are insisting us to share the original invoice first and then they will pay. What is the right procedure?
So again, as a chartered accountant, as a like advocate of doing the compliances and everything, I'll say different. It is in our mind कि pro forma invoice. If we raise pro forma invoice, it doesn't. We are not obligated to pay the tax liability. It is a myth or confusion in the mind of people. The moment you are raising any invoice, you are obligated for GST or TDS related matters. So better it is, again, as EEMA is advocating to follow the best practices, you raise an invoice, but at the same time, EEMA is also suggesting, okay, first you sign your agreement, proper agreement or a term sheet, make your terms clear and raise an invoice, tax invoice, because from tax point of view, it doesn't make any difference. Rather, you are increasing your work. If you are first issuing the pro forma invoice, keeping a track, then issuing a tax invoice, you are only increasing your work. Raise a proper invoice. Of course, but once your terms and your deliverables and everything are clear with your client, raise proper tax invoice, collect the money, and discharge your liability and live on happily.
So Dinesh, sorry, I myself was not aware of this, and like you said, it's actually a misconception. People raise pro forma invoice thinking that if the payment is not made to them, then the liability doesn't arise for GST. But like you're saying, it's a misconception, because believe you me, not only me, most of the event agencies have this misconception that pro forma invoice doesn't give rise to liability till the amount is paid to you.
So this is yes, that's why I'm using this platform to communicate. So this is a wrong notion. Okay, if I'm just raising a pro forma, because you see, when we use, again, when the incidence of tax comes, and why we are say going into this, why we are using the pro forma invoice? Are we not sure at that time while using raising a pro forma invoice, are we getting the money or not? We are sure that. That's why we are issuing the pro forma invoice, right? We have the term sheet signed and then we are issuing the pro forma invoice. So
well, there was like a flow of questions which is coming in. I would like to ask, do we have more time for a question? Can we attend one more?
Gitika,
with the permission of chair.
Gitika, you're on mute.
Dinesh ji, 3-4 और लेते हैं, because you're here with us. Your opportunity, I think we'll do another such session in the next month. Hai na, Raj? We're going to do one. So, but Megha, there is something from Anusha saying saloon expenses, hotels, there's Tushin, there's Anil. So just quickly, 3, 4 questions.
Yeah, so one more question that came just right now, that how can GST be effectively implemented in the wedding events industry? Many event managers still operate heavily in cash and often don't even accept formal invoices. Payments are frequently made by GPay, direct bank transfer, or deposited into personal accounts, sometimes by the client directly. As artists, this creates a challenge for us, and as we often end up paying GST out of our pocket despite not receiving the GST ourselves. Also, we do receive a lot of advances for wedding events, which are 20 to 30% of the payment. How do we tackle those? This question was asked by Arpita Chaudhary.
Should I reply?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, sir, yes,
Yeah.
please.
Okay. So firstly, again re-emphasizing, third time I am repeating, we need to follow the best practices. And let
Yes.
me tell you, I am also say privileged to work with biggest of the agencies of this country, with biggest of the artists, with biggest of the say agencies, and most of the good sign is slowly, but very say over a period of time, but very fast the things and the conditions are changing. Even the biggest of the weddings are happening where the entire transactions are happening in proper banking channels.
Yes.
As an artist, I will suggest, because for this particular query, you need to make, that's why two things are important. While you are signing your term sheet, at that time itself, you need to make it clear, are you getting your payment in? If you start insisting, okay, I don't deal in cash, I deal it, na, it makes things, maybe in the beginning, it will make say, slightly tough for you. But over a period of time, you will find it is very easier. And I
All,
have, believe me or believe me not, I have followed these things, and I have seen those agencies and everything. And today they are say very clearly. Even people know in the country ki if you have to deal with them, they don't accept anything in cash.
so, just giving you something from personal experience for all the artists out there, that if you have a good chartered accountant, they'll always advise you to build a bigger on account corpus. Because when you have money that's on account, then that money grows for you while you sit, right? But if that money is lying in a locker, it's not growing for you. And then what if you have a second demonetization? How? Apart from that, there's one thing that all artists need to learn to say, and that's called no. No. And say it with grace, and say it with that you believe it, and slowly take your payments towards a zone where, in the long run, you're investing in funds, you're investing in stocks, you're investing in properties, and you're making your money grow.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Another question that seems really interesting is, it's an anonymous question. I don't know who sent it, but I really got this. So we paid the GST, but we came to know the vendor GST is cancelled due to some reason. But we had already taken the credit. What should be done?
That's Anil.
Anil?
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll answer this. It's a slightly technical. If the cancellation of GST has happened post your input credit, if say before he raises that invoice, or after raises the invoice, if it is cancelled and he has not paid that amount, you are still liable for that. And in most of the cases, that's why we recommend, while you are working with clients or the suppliers, both sides, you need to check their GST status and everything on the portal. And you recommend, I know you all are busy, but you ask your accountants or the accounts team. So while dealing with any new client or supplier, to take their tax, how their tax habits are. On GST portal, it is all very, on TDS portal, income tax portal, or GST portal, all these things are very clearly visible. Is he a defaulter, or is he a person? And that's why we always recommend to our clients to take the KYC documents. for every person and do the basic KYC understanding and checking before entering into any financial transaction, and particularly when the transactions are of a large size.
Thank you so much, sir. The next question is from LS Anish. Advance received in the month against the proposal. My question is, it is necessary to pay GST against the advance the same month?
Yes, answer is yes. Let me clarify for GST and TDS. People think ki, okay, I need to pay GST liability only when I raise the invoice. It is again wrong thing to think, or misconception. Whichever is earlier, if you raise the invoice, irrespective you received the money or not, you are liable to pay. If you received the money in advance, you are still liable to pay the GST amount. In both cases, you need to pay the GST amount. Similarly, in TDS cases, for the agencies, for the benefit of agencies, they think, okay, when I have not paid any amount, but the invoice has come, I will deposit the TDS at a time when I'll pay this. Again, this is a wrong, legally it is not correct. Tax-wise, the moment you admit any liability and book this amount in your books of account, you are liable. Even tax provision says that even if you have not put the name of that party, even if you have made the provision, you are liable to deduct TDS on that amount. So this is and I again urge as a professional that this time and the coming time is a time when more and more compliance make your life easier, and you can focus on your growth and new business opportunities instead of going into this litigations and everything. So better to follow these good practices and
absolutely
live. Yes,
absolutely. This is wisdom of next level. Just follow compliances and just keep a clean chart and keep pacing and moving forward. Megha, you know what we'll do? We have lots more questions, but let's add a little bit of a bonus here. And what do you say, Jiggy, Raj, Dineshji, and all our star members on the Harmony group, the WhatsApp group, even those whose notifications are off, you can send in some questions, and I think Raj will consult with Dinesh and Jiggy and answer those questions. So we'll keep this open on Sunday, Saturday, Monday. Raj? So because we're running out of time, we need to move to the next. Lokesh has a question. Let's just take this one question, Megha, and then you close this section. And any more questions, put it on either EEMA, your EEMA social, because that's a common group we can pick from, and on Harmony for the artists. Megha, one last question from Lokesh Madan, who's recently joined our EEMA family. Once again, welcome, Lokesh.
So he asked Dinesh, sir, in a situation where the event is confirmed 3 to 6 months in advance with 50% advance, the balance payment comes in on the day of the event or prior. What is the right way of paying GST?
Yeah, again, if you have raised the invoice for the full amount,
then you have to pay.
Then you are obligated to pay the GST liability. The better way is, smart way is, if you are getting 50% advance, raise invoice for the 50% advance and pay 50% tax liability on that amount. And rest of the amount, say invoice you raise just before getting your final payment.
Okay, sir. Well, thank you so much for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with all of us. I'm sure that everybody, those who have answered question, have got their answers. And thank you so much, all of you, for joining in the GST TDS task force. You all are doing great. And thank you so much for being in such help for all of us. Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you, Meghanjani.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, it's time that our chair, EEMA Artist Committee, Mrs. Gitika Ganjidhar, take you through our newly launched, the EEMA Fundamental Harmony Kit. Gitika, ma'am, the screen is all yours. Ma'am, you have to unmute. You're on mute.
To everyone who's on the back end of this show, the technical crew, our EVP Sagar Pingali is with us. He has to leave for a very important professional engagement. Can I request you to first put him on the main screen So he can share with us his thoughts of the vision ahead for the artist committee, and then you can come back to me. Can we do that?
Well, of course.
Thank you, Sagar, for being here.
Been a pleasure, Geetika, and good afternoon, everyone. I'll just take a minute to say that it's been a great initiative from the Artist Committee. They've put in a lot of work and effort into getting this document on TDS and GST ready. The interesting part is that most of the questions that have come in, whether from agencies or artists, have all come in from more from a personal perspective than on this document, and issues about how to improve this document. However, I would urge every one of you to put in your questions. You could either write into the artist committee, and we could do a completely separate session only on the Q&A about your GST and TDS issues. Dinesh has been very kind enough to answer and address a lot of personal issues, though he's currently not here on this panel for that particular reason. But thanks, Dinesh, and I'm sure it'll be a pleasure to have you on again. The Harmony Kit, the GST, TDS redressal, etc., have been excellent initiatives from the Artist Committee, and let's hope it percolates down to the entire artists and event company ecosystem. Though it's currently restricted to the EEMA members, hopefully organically it'll also be distributed across by all you leading artists out here and by all you leading event companies out here, and it will get adopted as a process over a span of time. And as we keep reviewing it and refining it going forward, we hopefully all of us will be in one compliant ecosystem where none of us have any issues in terms of compliances as far as taxes go. Thanks for having me here, Geetika, and I shall take leave.
Thank you, Sagar, for always being a support, and thank you for actually staying on, sparing your time, and saying a few words. Thank you very much. So can we now project a very small PPT? And when I take you through it, you'll get a gist of what I really am trying to say here. This first slide, that is Namaha Aste, it's very significant. I'll tell you why. Because all of us are children of a source, and in our hearts resides divine love and divine light. So when we say Namaha Aste to each other, our true nature acknowledges each other's true nature, and we become one. So oneness really is the way humanity was intended to be. And oneness, my friends, is not a very macro concept. It's not like you think oneness, you quote oneness, you say you believe oneness. Oneness is a very micro concept. And for oneness, to achieve oneness, each one of us has to put it into practice on a daily basis, sifting out our own actions, our own decisions, our own thoughts to contribute towards oneness, because oneness can do wonders. Can we have the next slide? And I'm a huge fan of mythical stories from ancient Indian manuscripts and epics. So this is really, you all know what this is all about. This is the power of oneness. Even the impossible can be made possible by the phenomenon of oneness, which I'm underlining again here is a micro concept. Next slide. So when we decided the logo of the EEMA Artist Committee, and you're now wondering why am I talking about this 6 months down the line, because on every virtual event we have about 200 eyeballs, we have 50 eyeballs, we have 100 eyeballs. At Odisha, we had about 500 people in the audience. We have yet to reach out to the entire ecosystem, and we'll keep saying this again and again and again till we reach out to everybody. This logo says the Transformation Task Force. And this is exactly what we're all about. We are going to transform till the maximum limit that we can, the ecosystem for live artists and in relation to event managers and talent managers. Next slide, please. That's the artist committee. You all know them. Lotus is a symbol of transformation in almost all streams of faith, whether it's Buddhist philosophy, whether it's Hindu philosophy, whether it's Sikhism, whether it's Islam. Everybody describes the lotus as a symbol of transformation, blooming, springing forth in muddy waters, facing arduous challenges, but still giving the gifts of light, creativity, artistry, wisdom to the world. Next slide, please. I'm moving a little fast because I want to get to the question answer point. Now, why am I again and again and again saying this to every audience? And for people who have heard it, you'll say, okay, we've heard this before. But a kalakar really is like a lotus. You know, हम में से ऐसे बहुत कम लोग हैं, very few of us in the live ecosystem who actually understand what this means. The way artists are treated, and those of you who are, very experienced artists or very well established or very successful, will not really understand where this is all coming from. But as someone who has lots and lots of artists from across the country confide in her, I know what kind of treatment is prevalent, not just in tier 1 cities or metros or larger cities, but in tier 2 and tier 3 cities. And so again and again and again, I'm saying, please understand the significance of a live performer being a kalakar. Whether she's in a skirt, whether she's in a sari, whether he's in a suit or whether he's in a kurta pajama, whether he is led by content or whether he's led by energy, everybody is a kalakar and like a lotus. Next slide, please. What we give to the audience really is this, what you can see on the screen. It's rasa, the emotional essence, the juice that we aim to evoke in the audience. And this was actually written about in the Natya Shastra, one of the first epics that were ever written in the world. A live artist is the giver of this rasa to your events, ladies and gentlemen, the kalakar. Can we move to the next slide? And it is an act worthy of reverence. A live artist, I know all of us know, but kaun dhyan deta hai, right? All of us are so busy. But the live artist is the prana, the life force of your events. You can mount the biggest sets, you can create the most innovative concepts, you can unleash the most viral social media, you can depend on the most advanced tech in the world, but it is the live artist who will then walk into all of this and infuse life force into your event. And look at the amount of artists we have in the country, live performers, the categories. In India, we have a whole dharohar of live artists, and we're still looking at them with blinkers on just these 10 categories. Look out there, not just in the commercial stream, the indie stream of live artists, how many different live artists we have out there in the country. Next slide. Next slide. And I remember Samit once saying he all the way came from Delhi to Pushkar for an event that had only MCs in the audience. So see, people who understand and make an effort to contribute to changing the system. He came all the way, and he spent about 3-4 hours with the presenters. And I remember him telling them that this is a 5 lakh crore business, and in the coming years, India will stage uncountable number of events. And for those uncountable number of events, of course, we need uncountable number of artists, live artists, but we need them to be at their best professionally, to be at their best artistically, because this is the time that the whole India story is unfolding. And to help them give their best for our stages, we need to get them under the EEMA umbrella. That's what I'm trying to say. Next slide, please. Apart from getting them under the EEMA umbrella, we're going to try to help artists to enable them to give their ultimate potential. And for that, now in this next quarter, we are beginning a series of upskilling sessions, whether we do it virtually, whether we do it hybrid, or we do it physically. We're trying to work best with what resources we have at our hand. But over the next few months, all the artist members out there, we are going to roll out for you lots of upskilling sessions, focus on upskilling in the next three months up till Imagine. And then we have more plans after that. Next slide, please. Yes, of course. Next slide, please. And so the EEMA Harmony fundamental kit. You know, when you come into a terrain, you first want to set the ground right. So the Harmony kit really, from our side, was the cleansing of waters, the laying of the land, and was the first step. I do know for a fact that all the artist members, all 100 of them, haven't still gone through the Harmony kit or haven't given it a complete look. Please do so. And please adopt these business documents into your daily practice. We're all here. We're all on the group. Anything you want to ask us, please do so. We're all answering your questions, I think, almost within 10 minutes of when you put them out on the Harmony group. Next slide, please. Yeah, so that was my last slide. I was going to take everyone through the documents. I think it's going to take up another 5 minutes. So if I have time left after the question answer is done, Megha, then remind me if I want to project these documents. So we have the Artist Collective, which is a dossier of EEMA star members. My friends, so many of you on the Harmony group have still not sent us your information. This deck has, of course, gone out to 800 plus members of the EEMA ecosystem. There is a possibility of it being sent out to Korea, which is like, I don't know how many members. This deck is organically just shared left, right, and center across the live ecosystem. Forgive me, but I don't understand why you won't want to be on this deck and give it your time to send us the data. Then we have the EEMA Artist Ally document. I think we're now going to grow this in the next quarter and add more information regarding more categories. But we have so many makeup artists, hair artists, script writers, sari drapers. We have the works on this Ally document. There was a lot of pain involved in creating this because each one of these numbers had to be checked. We will also constantly upgrade this document. And all of you out there who are members of the Harmony group, please send in more information. We'll keep adding to this. And when you help others, you help yourself. I constantly keep saying this because the more organized we get, the more organized the business gets out there, and everybody from top to bottom is going to benefit. I cannot believe that people sitting at the top don't have issues. Everybody has issues. So when you clean the system up, everybody gains. So that's the deck that she quickly projected. Let's just show them one slide if you want to. One artist slide from any zone. Yeah. So you see, for all the event managers and talent managers on this virtual event, we've kind of presented information in a way that it's very brief. There's a lot of brevity. It's information that you can just lift from here and put on to your presentation slides. We are also going to upgrade this, Raj had suggested, in HTML format. So we'll do that a little later. But this is what is going out to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of clients out there. And I think this is value, isn't it? Can we move on to the last document now? Thank you for moving so fast with me. So this scholarship began as a commitment towards doing good, right? But now it's expanded. I remember in Bhubaneswar when I presented this PPT, we made a commitment there to the audience that next year onwards, we will have not just one, but we'll probably have one from each zone, and probably expand it to both the genders. So probably have 2 from each zone, given out as scholarships to encourage talent, to encourage talent with purpose underlined. So these were the documents in the Harmony kit. हमने पहले भी कई बार इन्हें WhatsApp groups पे डाला है. Is show ke baad, I think once again we will put them onto WhatsApp groups. It didn't surprise me that a lot of members in the audience in Bhubaneswar came up to me and said they hadn't seen it. So as I keep telling the committee and the secretariat that we have to keep posting for the next few months for everyone to kind of get their hands onto these documents. So there we are. Let us now get into the open house. And Megha, please invite the artist committee members. On the grid, we have a special message from the General Secretary to the artists. Megha, please play that, and then let's start the Q&A, the open house.
Well, before we have the video, it is rightly being said that Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya, this fundamental kit is actually leading us from somewhat darkness to light with all the information that we are getting, and especially somebody coming from the performer industry, the live event industry. It is really very important to actually make the system really amazing and straightforward to it, and not just scattered here and there. With that, I would request to kindly play the video. Thank you.
We have a second message from the GS.
Yes.
So Megha, you carry on, and then do remember, just make a note in your mind after we finish with the Q&A to play that video.
We'll do that,
Thank you.
for sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's time for the open house with the artist committee. Well, I would like to introduce the entire artist committee to all our viewers watching right now. Well, of course, we have our chair, EEMA Artist Committee, Mrs. Gitika Ganjudhar. We have co-chair, EEMA Artist, Mrs. Nanni Singh. We have member, EEMA Artist Committee, Dhruv Davar. We have member, EEMA Artist Committee, Mr. Raj Bhanushali. We have member, EEMA Artist Committee, Ms. Sanchali Arora. Can we please have all of them on the screen? Well, now I would request all of you, those who are watching us, to drop your questions. You can also ask your questions, come into the chat, and to the surprise that we have introduced something called You Can Come on Screen with Us. Well, this is your platform where all your voices are heard and no questions are small. So it's time that we can also bring people, few of you from the chat box, to the main screen.
So Megha, you want to start doing that?
Yes, of course. Are we all ready? Yes. Come on. So we have the first one coming up. Can we please have her on the screen? Well, requesting the tech team to kindly join them.
If you're having a problem connecting the first question, then go to the next one. Yeah.
Yeah. So we are moving ahead. Can we try once more, and then we shall move ahead? Well, I also have Aditya Malik with us. He would also join in. Can we please have Aditya Malik to join in on the screen? Okay. And I think we also have Anusha Wari.
Hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Thank you so much for the initiative, to everyone who have been an integral part for this initiative. Well, my question was, is there any standard approach that easily we will come to know without managing a, finance team as an entire whole setup? That is all very tedious as an artist to, get through all of that. I'm very new to GST, so I wish to understand this more. Is there any tool to have a check that if an event manager is paying a certain amount, deducting the TDS or GST, so how much is he deducting? How do we get to know? Should we ask them, or is there any tool or something to understand about this, or how can you help me make our things easier?
So Anusha, it's very simple. Even Raj will add to this, because this question that I've asked really is related to the first half of the session. The government, and especially the tax department, has standard videos that they have put out about GST. There are umpteen tutorials about GST out there online. It's very easy. It's not as much as a monster as all of us kind of think when we begin. It's very easy. And if you get stuck somewhere, please send us a direct message. Raj, Dinesh ji, Jignesh will be most happy to take you through a 20-minute sitting, one-to-one on a Zoom call, and clear all your doubts. Does that work for you?
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank you so much for asking the question and coming on with us. Well, we have a few more questions that came up in the WhatsApp. So it's from Amrita, and she
I
asked,
think, sorry, I think Sanchali wanted to add to that one. As an
oh,
artist, I
sorry.
think it'll be a value add. Yeah.
Yes.
Just a small thing. So I understand the technicalities of entire GST, TDS. For that, you need to probably hire somebody who has great knowledge if you don't have any. But just for your basic, when you are preparing, just make a small Excel sheet, right? This is just so that you understand what payment are you getting. If you can just write the amount, whatever you have billed, right? You will know the GST amount which is attached to it, which you are billing itself. So you know the figure, what amount you receive from the agency, right? Take that amount, write it in the third column, and you will know what amount you have received post after the GST. That is the amount of TDS. So you just have a knowledge. Now, generally for all professionals, most of the agencies deduct a 10% TDS, right? Even if you want to go the other route, but usually for an artist, 10% is the norm under 194J, right? There are other things as an artist, I don't think you need to worry about it. But just so that you know how much TDS is deducted, just make these 3 columns and you will know the amount of payment that you have received post GST, like keep the GST amount separate. You will know that this is the amount of TDS which has been deducted. So just for your record. Yeah.
Great.
So
Sorry,
Thank
I
you.
would
basically,
just
what
like
she's
to add
saying,
to that.
Anusha, is that, yeah, Raj.
So there is something called as payment advice. That is the least you can ask for from the agency,
Mm,
because
mm,
why, if you calculate this on your own, it can potentially lead to a conflict later. So it's always better to ask
yeah.
the event agency to give you a payment advice, which will give you a clear breakup of what are the TDS was deducted. And it can even come via simple email. As long as you have a proof what amount was deducted, that is important basically.
Oh, great. Thank you so much. That was an amazing input. Thank you. Yes, ma'am, please. Geetika, ma'am.
Yeah,
Okay.
so just very simple. Yeah, I mean, just it's X is the amount minus 10% of the X amount plus 18% of that X amount is the
Sometimes
money that needs to be on your check. Very simple.
it's 2%, sometimes it's 1%.
Yeah.
So
No, but
changing.
as a performing MC, it's a fixed percentage. That could apply if you're writing the content or doing something else. So as a performing MC, it's 100% 10% only TDS.
We can insist
but-
on
1% or 2% comes if Raj would add to it.
Yeah.
2% comes under a different section, which is under contract. So even I do certain billings where I request the event agency if they can take that into account. But most of the agencies will go by telling you if you are billed as a professional, then as a professional under that category, 10% is the norm.
Mm.
It's great if you're getting that 1%, it shouldn't bother you because that TDS in any case comes back to you, right? So whether they deduct 1 or 10, that's absolutely fine.
Correct.
Okay. It wouldn't affect our thing. Okay.
It's basically tax being deposited on your behalf in advance. So ultimately, whatever money is deducted is coming to you via a tax rate at the end of the year. So it actually shouldn't matter, except that obviously your liquidity could get affected. Also, this 1 or 2%. I mean, I know of instances where people, I mean, an artist can request, "Ab mera 1-2% deduct karo," and the particulars are manipulated. Now that is not technically correct,
That's not good.
but I know it happens. But the thumb rule should be that you should get a payment advice clearly demarcating how much TDS was deducted, because at the end of the year, if you work with 100 parties, there will be cases where the TDS amount that was deducted and what is being deposited doesn't match. So in that case, the payment advice is where the proof which comes into picture, basically.
I think this is a crucial thing for us to understand. Thank you so much. I mean, I got
Anusha,
that.
you can just connect with them to get a very clear picture. We're happy to give you 20 minutes. Yes, Megha. Next
Yes.
question.
Thank you, Anusha. I hope that your question has been answered. Well, we also have Aditya Malik. His audio got connected, and I would like to request Aditya to come on screen with us.
Hi, everybody. A great session. I'm sorry I can't switch on my camera. I'm in a completely Saturday mood. Not going to lie to anybody. Yeah. But just to ask, pehla sawal that are there different kinds of CAs? And the second, because I'm not really keen on having my father's CA as mine also, going ahead in the future, because as the committee, we are getting our answers from one common man as the CA or from one common team. Are we also looking at getting some CA on board whom we can talk to ourselves and hire on our personal level? I don't know, I'm just मतलब मैं पूछ रहा हूँ कैसा हो सकता है, because someone who understands the business better, as Dinesh ji mentioned in the starting कि क्या कुछ cover होना चाहिए या नहीं होना चाहिए, your CA should look at the books and know of that. Is there a possibility? Just asking.
So, Aditya, once again, this question is from the previous section that's gone by. And after this, may I request Megha to not take any more questions that relate to the earlier part of this event. But since Aditya, being Aditya, is so special. So, Aditya, we can look at adding a few professionals with their details, but then there again, the onus of responsibility will not lie with us for the quality of advice delivered. But yeah, Raj, maybe we can look at doing this. Aditya, we can look at doing this. Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sure.
you so much.
And you should ideally look for somebody who has expertise with the event industry or the entertainment industry.
Yeah.
If you have a choice of CAs, then you
Yes,
look at somebody who has
Sanchali.
an experience.
Sanchali
Sanchali raised a
I
hand.
am
there.
a little expensive, but that works.
And you can always actually ask for reference within the industry, right? There'll be so many references you'll get, So yeah.
Done. Thank you. I think we'll ask for reference. That's a better idea. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Aditya, for joining, and I hope your question is also answered. Well, there are a few questions. There are a few people who couldn't join in, but we do have their questions. They have been writing it to us. So we have Amrita, and she asked, I'm a choreographer, and I have been doing this for years. But honestly, GST still confuses me, as a lot of us. Do I really need to register, even if I only take up gigs occasionally?
Okay, so yes, like Amrita, that was answered by Dinesh at the very start. That it is always good to be compliant right from the very start. There's no harm, and you've already acclimatized yourself to the territory, and further on it just gets very convenient. Megha, I hope that answered Amrita's question. She's a valued member with us at EEMA. But here on, please sift through the questions and give us, yes.
I think that's it with the question.
We have more people online. I have a question here that says, let's just come in. Yeah, that just says, what is the vision for the next few months of the artist committee? So let me give this to Dhruv about upskilling and the importance, Dhruv, of upskilling in all the workshops that we're going to roll out, if you can share with them.
So yeah, I think this is one exciting committee. We're always planning ahead, thanks to Gitika. We're all on our toes. So there's lots that's coming up. We've kind of divided things into, like Gitika mentioned, there's certain workshops that we're looking at, some educational purpose. I mean, this was a tremendous, step in that way, as you all would have witnessed. So there's a lot more in terms of certain key skills that we have identified as a committee that we should be targeting and focusing on, and also on the holistic manner that we'd be really happy and excited to bring forth many more initiatives and workshops and maybe events also going forward.
So because upskilling really leads to a superior quality of deliverance on live events, and I think it's not just in this industry, but in every industry, everybody invests in improving your craft, because that's the only thing that's going to take you till the very end. I'm going to go to Nani Singh, our co-chair, because I can see a question here.
Yes.
Yeah, that talks about what are the different ways members can actively participate and contribute. Nani.
Sorry. I think it's the muting. Thanks, Gitika. And before I respond to that question, I just want to say one thing, that as EEMA Artist Committee, our intention is very clear. Our intention is to build a community, build a family, make a bond, to be there for each other in every possible way, and also to strengthen each other. And I think that's what exactly this Fundamental Harmony Kit has done. We initially developed a family, and now we are strengthening our family, the core of our system. and does all the documents that have come out and these detailed sessions that we're going through, so that just to make it clearer to every artist on how you can use them and maximize the impact for your own self and for others around you. Then there is now, if you ask me how as an artist you can participate, be vocal, be a part of the system, contribute in whatever way you can. And when I say whatever way, make suggestions. Tell us what more you need, what more we can do as a team, as a community to build a stronger fraternity. So the idea over here, seriously, guys, is not that we are looking to make more members. That will happen. Let us see what is the value add that EEMA members have. What is it that we are doing for our own selves, for our own community? And thereafter, of course, let's make a stronger system. Does that help you, Amrita? So contribute, participate in the best possible way that you can by being vocal, by making more suggestions, coming up with more thoughts. What else? Like, we have a certain plan, we have a certain calendar which is being shared with everyone. We would like to hear from you that can we also bring this in? Can we also do this? Then it becomes imperative for us to create that for you. Yes, Meghanjini.
Oh, being the member, I would also love to ask a question if I'm allowed to do so.
Of course, please.
Yeah, so if this is a question that I usually receive from a lot of colleagues that we work with, the anchors and the MCs and the live performers, that if we want to learn something from the people, those who have more experience than us, how can we connect with them, or how can we actually break the ice in going to them that we need to learn this, or we need to know how we should be doing this way, or something like the other? So what could be the process that the artist committee could help in like that?
Megha, you've hit the nail on the head. We are looking at post-Imagine rolling out a mentor-mentee series. The committee would remember that we've spoken about it a few months ago.
I was going to mention the same.
Yeah. So we are going to ensure that the established artists who have a lot of knowledge to share will step forward and make the contribution. So keep watching this space. Post-Imagine. Before the year ends, before 25 ends, this should be rolled out.
A complete mentorship program.
Another question.
Yes, please, go ahead.
Okay, so people, those who are not the member of EEMA Artist Committee, or for that matter, EEMA, as we always mention this, and also Gitika ma'am has already mentioned this, that we should be, and we are the ambassadors, the brand ambassadors of EEMA, and we should always ask people to join in with us.
Absolutely.
And if we are pitching this to somebody, or if we are asking somebody, what should be the points that so we of course know that we have a open part to everybody, that we can connect with East, West, and everybody can connect with each other and accept. But on the pointers, what should be the things that actually we should say to the other one, so that they also join and they also avail the benefits that we are a part of?
So before I give this question to Sanchali, who is an artist member who has been with EEMA for so many years, let me also commit verbally here on this platform that we are in the process of creating a value proposition document that Dhruv and I are going to be working on. I think it's almost 20% there. And we will share this with members at large. Each one of us, 100%, must urge other people to join the movement of EEMA, because it is just coming under a roof to create excellence. It is very important that we urge more and more and more people to join EEMA. Sanchali, I'm going to give this to you to share your experience from real life as to how you as an artist over the years has benefited from EEMA, the programs, the events, the networking, the upskilling, the hand holding, the guidance, and just of course the feeling of fraternity, all of it.
Yes. Thank you. I'm just butting in. Sorry. I'm just butting in because I want Sanchali to spell it out as an artist, and it's going to be amazing. I just want to say one thing, picking up from what Gitika just said, is that you are an EEMA member and you're availing of all these benefits, whatever, while the value proposition document is being prepared. What is your own feeling about being an EEMA member? What is it that you have gained? Which is what Sanchali is going to spell out also out of her experience. But what is it that you have gained? Because when you speak from your soul, the truth comes out, and you'll be able to speak with more conviction when you're telling somebody else about what is the value add of being a part of EMA. Just my 2 words. Over to Sanchali. Sorry, I came in.
Thank you, Nandini, and thank you, Gitika. I and Gitika has also had this discussion when I was requested to be a part, and in fact, I was asked to be a part, and I'm very happy to be a part of the artist committee. But let me talk about something which is a question which comes to me often. So I have been a member of EMA for a very long time. Initially, when I joined EMA, I really didn't think what will be the benefit out of it, what am I going to get. It was just being a part of the fraternity. I'm being very honest. And I joined, I saw, all the event managers are there. It's a good way to kind of, break the ice with people you don't know. Come together. I had a problem with networking. So individual networking is very hard for me. And in any business, this is a pertinent and a very important part. So when everyone came together, we were not really talking business. Okay, hire me as an MC, hire me as an artist. This is my profile. But this was kind of a part and parcel of the whole game because people saw you, people interacted with you. And for many of us who have been in the industry for a long time, probably what matters is a recall value, right? Everyone knows what you're doing. Majority of the clients already know you. It's just at that particular moment when the event manager is submitting the options for artists, are you there in his mind at that particular moment? So that really helps. I'm being very straightforward in terms of how it will benefit an individual. The larger and the philosophical aspect of it, I'll talk later. That's one. Now, second, lately and over the years, I'm sure Gitika more than me, has gotten a lot of calls from people asking, that I want to start and get into events, or I have just started out as an artist. Now, what is the best way to connect? I am not getting too many events. People don't know me. I don't know what is the route. Frankly, we don't have a directory. Even if you send out your profiles to 100 people, either it will be, labeled as spam. People don't really care about what you're sending. Some do, of course, if they need it then and there. But this is a platform which is the easiest because you are there then in front of people. And frankly, if you actively participate, things have changed within the fraternity also quite a bit. And I think EMA, Imagine, various smaller platforms, regional platforms have been giving a lot of opportunities to everyone who's a member. In fact, now it is a norm that unless and until you are a member of EMA, you will be not put on a particular stage. So, and it is being made sure that everyone gets a chance to showcase their talent. And trust me, there is no better profile than this. What people see is what sells. You might send your video profiles across, you might send everything across, but when they see you anchoring on a stage, when they see you performing on a stage as a stand-up comedian, as a singer, as a dancer, that's an immediate, closure for them. Okay, this is a great artist and probably I should put them in my deck. Now so I would say anyone who's looking to make those new connections, forge connections, this is the best platform. Now, something which as an artist committee, which is again chaired by Gitika, Nani, we have a whole bunch of amazing people, Raj, Dhruv, who are here. There are a lot of things which are happening right now. One, of course, there has been, which has been constantly mentioned. There are a lot of these initiatives which will help you as an artist upgrade yourself. Yes, there are thousands and thousands of videos which are there on YouTube, but you are getting it right from the horse's mouth, right? What you need is being curated, defined in different workshops. And these will be rolling out, have been rolled out earlier also. But you will see in the coming few months that if you're a part and parcel of EMA in whichever capacity, whatever, whether you're a star member, platinum member, diamond, depending on who you are, there is a lot that can help you, benefit you in upgrading yourself. That is there. Then, as different platforms like Harmony, Social, where you can directly interact, and people are more than willing to help. It's just about keeping a track of what is going on. And finally, there's one more thing, two more things I will say. The first set which has been rolled out, the fundamental kit, whether it is as people are asking, what should we make? How should we make our invoices? How should we, particular things to be kept in mind? Whether it is, the community, the artists, makeup artists, allies that you need. You have this all in place. Still within the groups, we see that people are still asking, can you please suggest, maybe an makeup artist from, say, for example, Bhubaneswar. All you have to do is just pass on these documents. It will save you also time. These are checked. These have been curated in a manner that a lot of work has gone into it, and it will help you and everyone. And finally, the very last thing I will say, it's besides what, you are benefited, the very last thing I will say, when you join a club, any kind of club, when you're part of a community, that feeling itself is great. So you know that you belong to something which is beyond yourself, and you will love being a part of the fraternity. You will feel welcomed. You will feel, you will feel loved, and you will feel that great. I'm a part of this industry is so huge. Yeah, I think I've said a lot. So yeah, that's what it is.
Can I just say one quick thing? I think the question was how can we participate? I think the participation start would be great if everybody just shares their information for the artist dossier. I think that's a good start to the participation. Then we can take it from there.
Yeah. So, I just want to quickly add something here. In the Imagine that was held, the last Imagine at in the East, that was where I saw Megha on stage on that night called EEMA's Got Shakti. And I remember she registered in my head as somebody very graceful and beautiful and very well-mannered. And here she is. She's been on main screen for the last 2 hours. What better recall do you want from with your clients? I also want to ask you, if not EEMA, then where else do you think you will get to network and present your skill and craft? And very often I get asked this question that in a year you have X number of events and only X number of artists can be put on those stages where they can get eyeballs. One thing that I've observed over the last few years is observed, and I'm going to say this here, much to discomfort of few people who have delivered below average performances on the EEMA stages, is that here are these stages. And we are giving you these stages to perform on in front of nearly 500 plus, 800 plus clients. And this is business. This is hardcore business sitting in front of you. So, hamara kam wahan khatam ho jata hai, boss. So if you step onto those stages and you're not prepared and your script is not prepared, you haven't been able to get a brief, then sorry, how do we help you? So, for example, we have Megha here. She's worked on this for 2 days. Before this, Arpita, she worked on the event for 2 days. So everything is here. We have something called the Artist Showcase, which will roll out this year. And Imagine, not making promises, but I think we're going to have a solo 2 hours Artist Showcase for everyone who's part of EEMA star members, and also people who register who are not EEMA members, to come in and perform on that stage. Not promising, but we're in talks regarding this. A lot is happening. आप past के बारे में सवाल मत पूछिए, past को अपने दिमाग में मत रखिए. The present there's a fabulous flux happening. There's so much action. There's so much contribution. And about everything, there is very pure intent, and that doesn't come very often. So join us. And I think before we, Megha, wrap this up, I'm going to ask anyone if they want to put in a last thought. But before that happens, the spotlight entries are open. All artists out there. If you ask me, these are the most credible awards of the industry, and they are being planned in a very, very grand manner this time. Going to be fantastic getting a spotlight chip on your shoulder. So what are you all waiting for? Go out there and apply for these spotlight awards. If anyone on the committee has a last thought, please share it, and I think we'll call it a wrap.
So spotlight, another great way of putting yourself out there. At least,
yes,
you don't win, your profile is going to a lot of people. So
yes,
great idea.
Of course. Before we end, yes, sir, please.
So I just want to share a couple of things. One is that I want to reiterate the fact what Gitika said, that ultimately EEMA can give you a platform, EEMA can guide you, but ultimately the core thing is your work does the talking. If you come on the stage and if you're not impressive, sorry, in fact, that showcase will work against you because people are not going to give you a second chance. So whenever you get the opportunity, make sure you do your best. Secondly, one thing which I actually said it in one of the earlier sessions is that one thing that a lot of event managers and artist managers think about is that artists don't take feedback. I mean, imagine that today even a product of service which is charging 5,000 rupees is taking feedback from customers. how many artists do actually genuinely take feedback, from their clients, and feedback with being, open that, okay, there could be something negative, that could be something constructive. In fact, sometimes when artists are even asking for feedback, they kind of direct the conversation in such a way that the client cannot say anything negative. You cannot direct the conversation in such a way that it comes across that you're only fishing for compliments. So if you are open to feedback, if you genuinely seek feedback, you will improve, and it will go, a long way, basically. So that's my input, to artists, basically. Yeah.
And to answer Raj in a very friendly manner that Raj and I often have, how many event managers and talent managers out there are ready to give feedback? Take out the time and give us feedback. I have a feedback form and it goes into inboxes. Sorry, boss, no one gives feedback that
Yeah.
easily. But Raj, well said, well said, well said, well said. You're
No, but
absolutely right.
I
Yeah.
think Raj has a point, because there are times when the feedback is given and it's not very well received. So many times, people tend to shy out of feedback. Okay, forget it. Like maybe next time we won't end up using that person as frequently, or give a feedback just before asking now I'm speaking from the event manager's perspective, but that does happen. But however, I think before we wrap up, let Dhruv also give in his last words, and then I'll definitely come back with the last word. And thank you
I'm
to
good. I
everyone.
think it was a great session, and I think it's a Saturday, so it's good. We've kept it crisp. So yeah, I think great. Over to you, Nani.
So the good
One
thing
second,
is,
Nani, give me just a second.
of
So
course.
I have to thank five of our members, Nani, who helped us drive this attendance for this event. When we drive registration, we don't do it because we want a big number on our
Yeah.
a feather in our hat. No, because we just want more and more people to gain from what we're doing. So Amrita Joshi from the West, thank you very much. Marianne, always a soldier, thank you very much. Swati Sharma from the North, thank you very much. Anusha, darling, thank you. Every time I reach out to you, you just raise your hand. And Aditya, our boy from the North, thank you very much. I must add here that it is again and again and again that these handful of names raise their hand. We have 100 members. Please raise your hands. Nani, your closing note.
Yeah, so that's exactly what Gitika has literally spelled it out when we were just asked, what is it that they can do to contribute? This is what you can do to contribute. Be a part of us. Let's be more proactive in everything that's being done. Let's share, let's dispense more information. Let us all grow together. And seriously, for all the artists who are artist members with EEMA, and not just that, like today we are saying even for event managers, because they joined us because of the GST thing, but we are one family. And I often get asked at the South Factor, somebody came and asked me this question, that everybody seems to know each other, but we don't know anyone. This was an artist asking this question. And what is it that I can do? How can I reach out? Very simple. Even I am going up to somebody to say, hi, I'm so and this is what I do. What do you do? Why would you not do the same? You are an equal member of EEMA. Please remember that. So take that extra step forward and be with us always. We are always there for you. A huge shout out and thank you to the entire backend team, as always, Dreamcast, and the entire EEMA secretariat that's always stood by us. Gitika, of course, kudos to your initiative and the push. And of course, our EEMA Artist Committee, superstars as always. And thank you, Meghanjini, for being with us and hosting this entire thing so well. A big thank you to everyone, and we hope to see you very, very, very soon. Be with us.
Nani, before we give this a bye, there's something, really the universe has its ways. So Amrita Joshi has sent in this question saying, what is the biggest challenge that the artist community has overcome, and what did you learn from these experiences? Let me take the liberty of answering this on behalf of all artists in EEMA, is that the artists today have a voice.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
We have a family.
Well, thank you so much, all of you. Well, before we end, as Ma'am has already mentioned, that just forget what's there in the history, everything that happened in past. So there was a term that I came to when I was in school. It was like past is history, future is mystery, and present is a gift. So embrace it, and with open hearts and open arms. Well, with that, as we come to the close of this insightful session, let's take a moment to reflect on the knowledge shared and the inspiration spark. Thank you so much for being the part of this meaningful exchange. Everybody, those who have joined online, and everybody, those who were on the panel. Well, everybody, we hope that you leave today with clarity, confidence, and community. A community that has open hearts to welcome all of you together. Special thanks to the Secretariat, our General Secretary, and the GST and TDS Task Force. This session was proudly brought to you by the EEMA Artist Committee as a part of our mission to empower every artist with knowledge that matters. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, and keep creating magic. It's your host, Meghanjani. Namaste.